This engine is about to be done. We did a fully crankshaft replacement. That's what it needed. In the past, I did a couple videos talking about how to replace the crankshaft, but if you haven't seen those videos, you can go to my channel and you're going to check all the information that I have there. And today I'm going to show you how to do it again, in case there is information that you haven't understand, because I did that video in separate pieces. This video is going to be a full video on how to do a crankshaft replacement. So first of all, before you do a crankshaft replacement, there is one very important thing to do. You have to inspect your engine block. Then it has no physical damage where the main bearing caps go. If there is damage, you have to repair any physical damage then could be done to the engine block. And second, you have to have a functional crankshaft, either used one or new one. That is something very important. Those two main components gotta be in perfect condition, so at the moment of installing them, there cannot be any type of errors or mistakes. With that in mind, we can start the process. So to replace the crankshaft, of course, you have to take the engine apart and many things. The crankshaft is already removed, so in this case I'm going to show you how to install it. When you install the crankshaft, first you have to make sure that the engine block doesn't have any type of debris or dirt all over where you are going to put the main bearings, and everything else then is going to be in full contact with the engine block. All you have to do is clean the engine block completely with different materials. You can use different type of fluids to clean the engine block. It depends where you are, how you're gonna clean it. Everything is right as long as everything is fully clean. After doing all that, you have to visually inspect the whole engine block to see if there is any type of damage, any type of metal or something that can interfere with the assembly process. If there is any type of damage on the engine block, you have to pay attention to that, fix it, or do anything that is necessary to make sure that this engine block is going to be in a good condition. We have to install the main bearings that go on the engine block. We have to install all of them, be sure that there is no debris, any type of dirt or nothing that is going to be in full contact with the crankshaft or the engine block. You have to clean everything perfectly, put all the 7 main bearings on the engine block, be sure to install them properly, inspect them, double check them as many times as necessary to be sure that this component is going to be in the perfect shape. You can apply some grease to the bearings, making sure that the bearings are going to be fully lubricated when you install the crankshaft. The bearings are going to be positioned in only one position. There is no way you are going to mistakenly put a bearing in a wrong position. There is only one way how they're gonna go. Once you have done all that, we are going to prepare the crankshaft. The crankshaft is going to be a very fragile piece and is very heavy, so it is very difficult to move it around. So we have to lift it up, we have to clean it, we have to be sure that there is no debris, there is no dirt or nothing that is going to interfere with the friction areas when this crankshaft is working. If you see any type of marks or something, inspected before installing the crankshaft, because this could be a potential damage to the engine if you don't do it. In this case, this is a brand new crankshaft, so it's most likely that it's not going to have any damage, but used crankshafts are going to have, possibility that it could have problems. So we are going to lift the crankshaft and get it to the engine block. You can do it the way we are doing it with 2 people, but you can do it using a special tool or any type of a leaf or a hoist to actually lift the crankshaft and then put the crankshaft down on the engine block. Manually is going to be a little harder because it's heavy, but it's possible to do it with 2 people. But if you don't want to take the risk, you can use different type of tools to actually install it. The crankshaft goes all the way down. You have to be sure that it sits perfectly, be sure that it goes down correctly, it's not actually getting stuck in one side, getting stuck in the other. Gotta be an easy fit. It doesn't have to get stuck or nothing. But once the crankshaft is completely installed, seated on the engine block, don't rotate it. If you rotate the crankshaft at this point, the bearings are going to move from their position. So don't rotate it yet. The crankshaft is going to just be sitting in the engine block, but it is not time yet to rotate the crankshaft. Now, once the crankshaft is on position, we can start preparing the main caps. And just as we did with the engine block and the crankshaft, we have to clean very well these using different type of materials. Once we have done all that, we are going to install all the main bearings to these main bearing caps. When installing individually, these main bearing caps, they have numbers, so you have to be sure where you are going to install them. And the front, where the engine in the front, where the alternator and everything is, that's the number 1, and number 7 is at the end where the transmission goes. So you have to make sure then all that is going to be in the correct position if you are using the same engine block. Because if you don't do it, something could happen, a serious damage to the engine can happen, and that would be a serious mistake, then it's going to be expensive. After installing the main bearings on the main bearing caps, we have to lubricate them with grease. You can use oil or any type of lubricant that is going to be good for your engine, and easy. We are just going to install them on the engine block, making sure that they go in the right position. There is one cap in the one, that's the one that has the thrust bearing, the axial bearings. This one is going to be very tricky because you have to install the axial bearings on the engine block and on the main bearing cap. Other than that, it's going to be the same way as the other one. You have to install it and that's it. Once we have all the main caps completely seated on the engine block, well, we can continue by tightening all these caps. We can use an impact gun, we can use a ratchet, we can use anything that doesn't apply more than 50 pounds of torque, because we are going to torque these ones to a specific torque that I'm going to mention soon. But you have to be sure to don't torque them too much. So 50 will be enough to start the torque section. So you want to tighten all of them together. And after you tie all of these, you have to be sure to rotate the crankshaft. Now it's time to rotate the crankshaft. If the crankshaft for any reason gets harder at any specific time when you are tightening each individual main bearing cap, you have to inspect that. If it gets tighter at one specific cap, you have to remove that cap and see why it's getting tighter. If there is no problem, you can continue with the process. Then after tightening all these caps to approximately 50 pounds of torque, we can continue and do the proper torque. Then it's 180 to start. To start, we're going to apply 180 pounds of torque to each individual ball. So we're going to do 184 to one, and then 184 to another one. The same cap, on the same cap, just be sure. It's not going to be different caps, it's going to be both of the same time, the same cap. Once you have done that cap, you go ahead and rotate the engine, the crankshaft again, to be sure then this one is not getting tight. And then you repeat the process with all the other caps that are going to be left. So you're going to continue from the center to the side. So you're going to start from the cap number 4, and then you're going to go to 3, and then to 5, and then to 2, and then to 6, and then to 1, and then to 7. Each time then you are applying torque to each cap, you have to rotate the crankshaft. That is something very important that you have to remember. Once you have completed the 7 caps with 184 pounds of torque to each ball, you can recheck them again. You can use the same torque range to recheck each individual ball to see if you by mistake forgot one to tight. So if that happens, you have to tighten to the specification, and if everything is correctly, we can move on to the next process. The next process will be to mark each individual bolt. And the reason why we are marking these bolts is because we are going to apply degrees to each individual bolt. Detroit recommends you to apply 180 degrees, which is going to be half of a turn. But you have to divide that in 2 times. So it's going to be 90 and 90. So you're going to apply 90 of a turn and then a 90 of a turn. So you're going to put 1/4 of a turn and then 1/4 of another turn. So it's going to equal 180 degrees. So you can do it all together if you want. You can do the 180 degrees and nothing major will happen. But if you want to do it by recommendations, by specifications of Detroit, you are going to do 90, freeze, and then 90. Just be sure to mark these bolts, all individual bolts. So that way you know how much turn you're applying to each bolt. You can use different tools, different type of special tools to actually read the amount of degrees that you are applying to each turn, but it is better to mark them because that way you cannot make mistakes. That way you know where the bolt was and where the bolt has to be. So you have to apply 90 and 90, which is going to be 180 degrees of turn to each bolt, which equal to half of the turn. You want to do that to each bolt. You want to do to the same cap. You want to do it to each bolt. So we're gonna start on number 3, and after we do number 3, we have to rotate the crankshaft. And the reason why we rotate the crankshaft is to, again, making sure that there will be no type of moments where the crankshaft is going to be harder than before. Crankshafts have to be running smooth, rotating smooth. Doesn't matter how much torque you are applying to it. I mean, as long as it's within specifications of Detroit, right? So we are going to continue on doing the next cap and the next cap and the next cap until we do all 7. And each time we torque with the turns, with the 180 degrees of turn, each bolt, we are going to inspect the crankshaft for rotation. We have to do it. If for any reason the crankshaft gets tighter at any specific moment, we have to remove the cap that is making the crankshaft to go tighter. And once you have torqued all these 7 caps to the specifications, we are completely done. Engine crankshaft installation is fully done. That's it. There is nothing else to do when it comes to crankshaft, except when it comes to install pistons and stuff like that. But for that, you are going to do different type of process. If you want to install the connecting rods, if you wonder why is the specification for connecting rods, that is like 84. It's 84 pounds of torque plus 90 and 90, 180 degrees again. So it's gonna equal around like probably like 200, 220, 250 pounds of torque, something like that, to the connecting rods. That is something completely separate than main bearings. Rotating the engine many times is very important, so that way we know that this engine is freely and it moves as it's supposed to be. It doesn't have to get any type of harder, or when you rotate it, it gets any type of sound or grinding noise or something. I mean, that's the reason why you rotate it, because you want to inspect all that visually and you want to hear it. You wanna do your job on checking this out as many times possible, because this is not a cheap repair. This is a very expensive repair, and making a mistake at this point is going to be very costly. So that's the reason why you have to inspect it and inspect it and inspect it as many times possible. It is very important that you spend a lot of time inspecting this, then this is going to be in a good condition after the repair, than just doing everything because you don't have no time. But this is how you do replace the crankshaft. I don't know if I was very specific explaining you how to install the crankshaft. Installing the crankshaft is not going to be an easy task. It requires around 2 hours to to do the whole process of installing the crankshaft after you remove the crankshaft, and after you do many other things then you have to do too, making sure that the engine block is going to be in a good condition. The actual process of putting the crankshaft together and putting everything, the main bearings and caps and torque, and doing the proper torque and inspecting it, is going to take around like 2 hours, 3 hours maximum, 4 hours we can say, if you are actually going through each individual inspection and taking your time to check it completely. But this doesn't mean that you're gonna take 4 hours to do the engine completely. Engine is going to take more than that. Engine needs so many different components they need to put together, so it's going to take a little more time than that to put it together. But at this point, the video, it was to show you how to install it. Removing the crankshaft is kind of easy since you just removing parts, but putting it all together takes a little more skills since you have to know what you're doing and how you're going to do it and why you're going to do it. So it's very important that you know what is the right and proper way to do it. I know for sure that many people have many different ways how to do this process. So if that is the case, you can comment below and leave your opinions. Probably my process is wrong for some people or is right for some people. But there is no wrong answer when you comment below. So when you comment below, you can actually help different people to understand things that probably I didn't explain well during my video. So that is very important that you do. When you comment below, you are helping me and you are helping others to understand topics that we don't know yet. Because this information, just the same way I'm sharing information to you. But this is all. Hope the video is informative enough, as I said before. And the future, I'm going to continue doing videos like this, showing you tutorials on how to do things, so that way you can get the idea on how it's like to do a process like this. As I say at the beginning of the video, I have other videos showing how to do this process, but I wanted to do another one showing different topics that probably I didn't explain on my other video, and it's going to add more information to the other videos I did in the past, so that way you can get the idea on how it's like to do it in a different way. But if you haven't seen my other videos, you can go ahead and check on my channel, Crankshaft Replacement, and you're gonna see different videos that I have, and you are going to get the idea on how it's like to replace the crankshaft, and that way you can understand better how it's like to do this process in different ways, different angles, and different engines, so you can get better experience by just watching my videos. Want to send support to the channel? Check the description of the video. I have details how to send support to the channel. Go to Instagram to see different content that I have. Look for me, franciscoamaya YouTube. I do different things there, and you can ask me questions there. As always, share the video, like it, and thank you for watching.